Hello Internet, welcome to Philosophy at Fortismere. Today we will be discussing a very important concept, Theseus' ship, but before we get into this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Mind you, there will be some amazing Overwatch and Valorant gameplay, but don't get distracted. So Theseus had a ship, and he loved his ship. Let's say a ship has a 1,000 pieces now. Whenever any piece was damaged, he would be immediate to replace that one certain part of said ship. Now over time it would be so that he had replaced every single bit of the ship. This would mean that the ship is totally different, right? That's the question. Is that still his ship? Essentially, the argument is, if it isn't the same ship, at what point did it stop becoming a ship? And now this is a thought experiment, but for this to be as difficult as we have to leave property and who owns what out of the question, just to keep it interesting. We know that it's very tough, but don't worry, because we will go through it with you and help us well. If you think it's so easy, well, don't be fooled, because the moment he replaced the first piece of the ship, surely it is an entirely different ship. Haha, not so smart are you now? Don't feel bad, because you're not the only one. In fact, nobody actually has a definitive answer. So back to the question. At what point did it not become his ship? Remember, property is out of the question. There have been lots of answers and inquiries about this, but there is no answer. People would say that even though he built a duplicate, it's still his ship. But if so, does the other parts just disappear? So how do we know what is the original ship? Well, short answer is I don't know, and the long detailed answer is that nobody to ever live on planet Earth knows, because there simply is no correct answer. Did it stop being his ship when he changed the fist part, or did it stop being his ship when he changed the second part, or did it stop being his ship when he changed the third part, or did it stop being his ship when he changed the 50th part, or did it stop being his ship when he changed all 1,000 parts, or was it always his ship, or was it never his ship? You might be wondering. If Theseus changed every piece of the ship, then surely it's not his original ship from when he set sail, because the moment he put the ship on water, the pieces must have changed its physical appearance. Now this is all scientific, but remember, this is a philosophical question, so we want to ignore this for the time being. I am sure that this would be a disappointment, but don't go just yet. We still have some questions and thoughts. Let's say a pirate has been following him, and when Theseus threw all the parts away, they essentially swooped in and collected all the pieces of his boat. Now what? Well, my question is, which ship is Theseus' ship? Now remember, property is out of the question. And before you say anything, Theseus does not know about the pirates stealing the parts, and the pieces were in okay condition because Theseus threw the pieces for the smallest reasons. Maybe the paint was starting to come off, or there was a small dent, or anything really, but it would always be for such a little thing. Hence the pirates could rebuild the ship all over again with no problem at hand. So, which one is his ship? I know what you must be thinking. You think that I am talking a load of rubbish, because clearly both ships are Theseus's because he built it. But there is a very big but. So the pirates did a little hindering. Maybe they changed the paintwork, maybe they adjusted the pieces, maybe they changed the layout ever so slightly, maybe they swapped two identical pieces, but we don't know exactly. Anyway, is that still Theseus's ship? Aha, now you are finding this a little more challenging, aren't you? Here's the fun bit. We asked the first 10 random people that know of Theseus' ship the same question, and we had some very interesting results, to say the least. If you said that it was Theseus' ship, well then you're in the minority, because 7 out of those 10 people said that it was not Theseus' ship because, and I quote, they changed bits and bobs so it ain't the same. Did you have a similar answer? It doesn't matter much anyway, because as I said, there are no right or wrong answers. Now I feel that I have talked a lot about whether what ship is what and whose ship is whose, but now I have one final question. Were the pirates right in taking the pieces? This is a very hard question because now this is about ethics and what's right and what's wrong. So let's breaking it down. Not on the one hand, Theseus threw it away, so obviously he doesn't want it, right, and he probably won't think much of it anyway, so there really is no point for him to be protective for said pieces because he doesn't need them, right? Well, on the other hand, these pirates can use their relatively new boat for malicious activities, so they could cause problems with it to other people, and on the off chance they might do something bad with said boat to Theseus himself. Now we are in somewhat of a sticky situation because it really depends on the pirates, right? Because it all depends on your trust for the pirates. Because if you don't trust them, then obviously you would not say that it was right. But now if you did trust them, then it would not be a problem. It's because since they are pirates, we can fairly assume that they would do something bad with the ship. Essentially, it all comes down to the kind of person that you are. So if you generally don't trust people, then you probably would think that it is a bad idea to practically give your ship away. And if you generally do trust people, then you are more likely to go for the latter and say that it is okay for the pirates to take the ship. Now this scenario would be entirely different if the pirates were instead poor fishermen who just needed a bot to provide. So what have we discussed today? Well, we talked about Theseus building a new in quotation marks ship because he cared so much about the quality of his ship and how it looks and feels, and asked ourselves, if he built another one, is that still his ship? I constantly reminded you guys that money and property was out of the question. Then after that I brought pirates into the equation, and it became very interesting when I asked if the ship that they rebuilt was Theseus's ship. It might have been disappointing to some of you when I revealed the statistics of who thought what. Now mind you, those stats were just from 10 people, so please don't twist my words. Then we brought ethics into the question too when I asked whether it was right or wrong. And finally, we are here to the summary of what I said for the past 7 minutes. I want you to take the next 10 seconds or so just to simply process and think about everything I just said in this video. Unfortunately, it is time to end the video as you can hear the music coming, so thanks for watching and goodbye.